Pepsi Arena in Albany, New York. It's MAAC men's quarterfinal action. At 11-16, the Manhattan Jaspers against the Ryder Bronx with a record of 18-8. And so far, half of the semifinal field is set. The top seeds from Iona have gone on to face Loyola tomorrow in one semifinal. And then you see tonight's action, Manhattan against Ryder and Siena against Canisius, the nightcap of this evening's doubleheader. And welcome back inside the Pepsi Arena, everybody. Doug Sherman along with Glenn Consor. And another one of those games that on paper should be a great game right down to the wire. Oh, absolutely. You're looking at a Manhattan team that is on a roll. This is a team that likes to change up their defenses to try to surprise you. Ryder more of a conservative team, although Manhattan will probably try to play a half-court game and try to take Ryder out of the transition game. Okay, what are our keys to the game, Glenn, brought to us by Citizens Communications? Well, it's going to be important for Manhattan to really shoot the basketball from the outside. Brendan O'Brien's coming off a strong game from the outside. Stephen McDowell, both of those guys, however, are streaky shooters. If they can make some outside shots, they can get the ball inside to Lyons, who's an all-conference player. From Ryder's standpoint, they like to go inside and out. They do have the inside threats with Lacey and McPeak. They also have the good outside shooters in Finnefrock and also Burston, but they like to play the high-low game between Lacey and also McPeak inside. They'll put Lacey on the foul line, McPeak inside. These are two of the best big guys in the MAAC conference. Now, you've talked about Ryder, very balanced. They've got somebody who's a standout player at every position, but the biggest standout so far has been, well, we're talking about Manhattan. We've got Steve McDowell coming at you. Yeah, McDowell's going to be a key to this game, not only from a defensive standpoint. He's been a streaky shooter from three. If he could shoot from the outside, all of a sudden Manhattan has four guys that could stick it from three, and that's going to open up the inside game for Mr. Lyons. Okay, now as I was talking about with Ryder, they have several players who can do it. Greg Burston, a first-team all-league performer, and he is very dangerous on the perimeter. Yeah, Burston's been in a little bit of a slump offensively. He's going to have to make his outside shot, but it's going to be important for Donnie Harnham to design the first few plays to get the ball into Burston's hands where he can score. He's not a deep shooter, but he's one of those guys that can knock down the 10, 12-foot jump shot. Now, Glenn, it's always difficult for one team to beat another team 3 times in a season. You see that coming into play tonight? No, not at all. I think if something like this in the tournament as a player, you always have confidence when you step on the floor, especially in a tournament, to have confidence to win. Well, Ryder won the 2 regular season matchups. We'll see if the Jaspers can break that little mini skid. When we come back for matchups, we'll have the starting lineups and the tap coming up on the MAAC Television Network. This game is brought to you in part by Marine Midland Bank, banking for the real world. By Pepsi Cola, Pepsi, Generation Next. By GMAC and the GM College Grad Program. By Citizens Communications, the official telecommunications company of the MAAC. The New York Lottery, they're the hottest tickets in town. Chase Manhattan Bank, the right relationship is everything. And by Mazda. Welcome back to the Capital District of New York State, Albany's Pepsi Arena, the MAAC tournament. Quarterfinal action, Manhattan Jaspers against the Ryder Bronx. Coming up in a matter of moments, our GMAC starting lineups. First for Manhattan, Brendan O'Brien, key. When he scores, the offense works better. Exactly, Doug. Manhattan's win in the play-in game against St. Peter's. O'Brien had 21 points and 14 rebounds. On the other hand, the other week he was 0 for 7 against Siena, so he's been inconsistent. Burston, on the other hand, for Ryder is going to be key. Don't forget the big guys, Lacey and McPeak, could dominate this game. Tata Tuomo is one of those guys that could make three-point shots, so it's going to be an interesting matchup. All right, let's check our third member of the broadcast team, and Howard Simon.
As you were talking about Brendan O'Brien, sometimes we look for the X factor in these games, and Brendan O'Brien had a big game yesterday against St. Peter's. You pointed it out, 21 points. He's a local kid. He's from Troy. You know he'd love to play in his final trip back home. He'd love to play another couple of games before the hometown family and friends. So we'll watch for the emotion, the effort from Brendan O'Brien to hope, well, he'll try and help Manhattan pull the upset here. Guys, back to you.
All right, thank you, Howard. And the Jaspers of Manhattan, Brendan O'Brien in his 5th year since coming down from Troy High School. Had a couple of changes in the coaching staff. He's been around for a lot of that series history, with Ryder coming into the conference this year from the Northeast Conference, new members of the MAAC, and John Leonard, the head coach of the Jaspers, In his second season since coming back, he was an assistant in Villanova. Had ties to Manhattan, had been a star player in the, 70s, 80s? Back in your era, Glenn?
Before you were born, huh? No, John was a great player. Drafted by the Knicks at college, and actually early 80s, late 70s.
And Don Harnum, head coach of Rider, and some of the cheerleaders who've made the trip up from Lawrenceville, New Jersey. It's about a 4-hour drive up. And the MAAC tournament is back in the Capital District. Don Harnum making his second trip here to the Pepsi Arena. A couple weeks back, he brought his Bronx up and they played Siena, so it's not the first time they've played here on this floor. Manhattan, meanwhile, has played here many times over the years.
Donnie Harnum told me before the game that he had a nice little haircut just to make sure that he was going to be clean cut for this tournament. Short in the back, a little bit longer up top. And he's ready to roll. Now, Rider, from a strategy standpoint, is the type of team that knows how to play at 2 speeds, but they like to play the up-tempo game, getting the ball in Finnefrock's hands, and getting those big guys to run the floor. They become very dangerous.
Lacey missed the layup, and here come the Jaspers. The thing I like most about Rider is, as we talked about earlier, they have a true point guard, a true 2 guard, a true small forward, a true big forward, and a true center. They've got somebody for each role.
Exactly, Doug. And when you look at the high scorers each game for Rider, everybody seems to step up and have their turn for making some big plays and putting some big points on the board.
Sure, last regular season game for Rider, Finnefrock pumped in 32. Well, talked about Brendan O'Brien just moments ago. He had a good game yesterday. Starts off with a 3 here today for the Jaspers.
Now expect Manhattan to switch their defense up quite a bit. They'll play a straight man with pressure out top. They'll look to trap in the corners. They'll play a soft man, some zone. Right now it's straight man.
Burston and Tuomu. Shot clock down to 10. Tuomu from long range, off the mark, and Mars Mellish, one of the freshman guards, comes down with it. All the way strong to the basket. How about that layup? Alvin Anderson.
He's got a little strut going back. He's fired up.
And Don Harnum burns an early 20-second timeout. His team down 5-0. Well, Anderson, a member of the MAAC all-rookie team this year, and he's been making moves like this all season.
Just blew right by Finnefrock, and he started that play in the backcourt way early. You got to stop the dribbler, pick him up early, make him turn, make him change directions. He just took the beeline to the basket. John Leonard's got these guys prepared. They had 5 walkthroughs today just to go over different ways that he's going to play defense. And he told me, he goes, I'm throwing the book at these guys today. I'm going to use a lot of different defenses, a lot of different looks on defenses, a lot of different matchups. He's pretty fired up, too.
He should be. First time in the MAAC tournament for the Bronx. Just underway. First half action. Rider trailing 5-0. Interesting stat. Whether it means anything or not, I'm not sure, as Burston comes up short. In the 15 years Manhattan has played in the MAAC tournament as a charter member, if they haven't gotten knocked out in the first round, they've gone all the way to the title game. Interesting. But for Manhattan fans, that means they're going to the title game on Monday night.
And should Rider win this game, it would be the 8th year in a row that they've made it to the semifinals of the conference tournament. And that started back when they were in the East Coast Conference, then obviously to the Northeast Conference, and now the MAAC. Should they win?
Brendan O'Brien out front. Rider in its man-to-man. Anderson off the screen, and he traveled. Had a step on Finnefrock, and I'm not sure he realized it. And turns it over to Rider.
The interesting thing about Rider's team, maybe with the exception of Lacey, that this is a very experienced team. McPeak's a junior, Burston's a junior, Finnefrock's a junior.
Reach around foul against McDowell, the all-time leading three-point shooter in Manhattan college history. That's his first, and the first against the Jaspers, wearing their road green uniforms because they are the lower seed. They finished in a 7th place tie this year in the standings, while Rider is the number 2 seed. Bronx turn it back over. Ryder really struggling in the half-court set.
I think Ryder's going to need to try to get the ball as the first option to get the ball into McPeak's hands. He hasn't touched it yet. But he's one of these guys that can put a lot of points and makes himself nice and big and wide on the blocks. Ryder's going to need to look first inside.
Lions double team, finds O'Brien wide open, and he makes Ryder's defense pay. It's 8-0 Jasper.
You could just see he's picked up right where he left off in the last game where he had 21 points. He's got some nice rhythm to his shot. He's catching the ball in a crouch position, ready to go up and spring up to shoot. He's got the good follow-through. Nice shot by the lefty.
Well, it's a tough schedule for Manhattan. They had to play yesterday morning in a play-in game as Burston finally gets Ryder off the schneid. But then the Jaspers have to come back and play tonight. And obviously, if they want to win it all, they've got to win 4 straight games. But it's a real tough schedule. Yet they shot very well yesterday to snap their 4-game or 5-game losing streak. And then they come out shooting well again today. Brendan O'Brien, how do you figure that stuff out where sleeps change, foods change, meals have changed, yet here they are sharp again?
Yeah, when you talk to John Leonard, as Manhattan comes out on fire, you talk to John Leonard, he's just happy to have won that first game. And he feels real confident that this team is a lot better than what their record indicates, and I believe that they are. They're a very dangerous team, and if they can control tempo of this game, get Ryder in a half-court game, Manhattan's going to be a strong contender to win this game. Tempo is going to be real important.
McDowell left open after Tuomu fell. Ryder with it, 8-3. Manhattan off to the quick start. Lacey lays it in.
That's a nice look inside now. Travis Lyons was trying to three-quarter defense. Lacey inside. It was a good little lob pass. That's how you break that type of defense. Throw it to the target hand.
Nice look inside, and Travis Lyons lays it in. The assist to Alvin Anderson.
Do unto others as they do unto you. Right back at Donnie Harnum's team. Inside to the mainstay, the rock of this Manhattan club.
First team all-league performer. And Lyons has his first points of the game. 10-5, Manhattan with a lead. Bursting in and out. Lacey right there. Ryder is big across the front.
Donnie Harnum told Lacey and McPeak that in order for them to be victorious this game, they're going to need to hit the offensive boards and give Ryder second chance opportunities.
Finnefrock slaps the ball away. And a reach-in foul goes against Manhattan. Alvin Anderson picks up the personal. And we have a timeout on the floor. Jaspers by 3 early. We'll be back with more MAAC basketball after this.
St. Peter's College, the Jesuit College of New Jersey. For more than 125 years, St. Peter's College has offered students from all economic, cultural, and social backgrounds an unsurpassed education in liberal arts, business, education, the sciences, and more, including championship athletic programs that stress academic excellence. St. Peter's College, diverse, international, Catholic, Jesuit, with campuses in Jersey City and Englewood Cliffs. St. Peter's College, the Jesuit College of New Jersey.
Broadway shows of Albany. Fans for over 60 years of familiar name in healthcare, Empire Blue Cross and Blue Shield has been here to serve generations of New Yorkers. Today, as proud sponsor of the MAAC, Empire recognizes...
This week's Did You Know feature brought to you by Citizens Communications, the official telecommunications company of the MAAC, and former Notre Dame coach and current TV basketball commentator Digger Phelps played for Ryder back in the day. And he went on to be a head coach for 1 year at Fordham before going on to Notre Dame, but part of the rich basketball tradition at Ryder University. Donnie Harnum now in his first year as head coach after an 8-year stint as an assistant coach here, but part of a great coaching legacy.
As Donnie Harnum took over for Mr. Bannon, who's now doing a great job at Rutgers.
Came up with a big win against my alma mater the other day. Syracuse losing down at the rack.
Well, Syracuse is a breeding ground for broadcasters, huh? Doug Sherman. Costas. Notice how I placed you first, Doug.
As you should.
Humble ones, too.
Absolutely. O'Brien swings it left side. Inside they go. Good ball movement, but the towers defensively for Ryder there to snap away any chances for Lyons, and Ryder comes away with it after the errant pass. Tuomo, despite the herky-jerky shot, has great numbers from the outside.
A lot of streaky shooters in this game. Stephen McDowell, Brendan O'Brien, and Tata Tuomo. Another one of those guys that can be hot or cold.
Hosting against Finnefrock. Anderson kicks it to McDowell. Now their true post player, Lyons, comes up short.
A solid defense by McPeak. His hand up. Gave him a little body first on the way up.
Lacey. What a difference 4 or 5 inches makes on both ends.
Well, it sure does. See, now with McPeak back intact this year, Lacey's at that 4 spot offensively, so he could face a little bit more. Last year, with McPeak out, Lacey played with his back to the basket.
12-10, Ryder by a couple. Dump it off for Lyons. He is this year's version of what Manhattan has had as the go-to guy over the last several years. Guys like Keith Bullock as kind of the garbage man underneath.
He's been the go-to guy. He's got that Adrian Dantley type game in the low post, only 6'4", but he gets guys on his back and knows how to feel the defense and score. And McPeak does as well. Did a nice job making himself a big target inside, and I think that's what the game plan is going to be. Donnie Harnum told me before the game we need to get the ball inside to Lacey and McPeak, get some good spacing to keep away the weak side defense, and that's exactly what we saw on that signal. Look at the weak side defense. Lyons is not doubling down. Now McDowell came down, but he was too late. You want to double down on the low post and force McPeak, who has struggled passing out of a double down all year.
Jonathan McClark comes in for Ryder, as does Derek Perry. McClark out of the game. Tuomo goes to the bench. Darrell Brown has come into the game for the first time for Manhattan. Turnover. Here comes Perry on O'Brien. Missed it, but Lacey there. He missed it. And McClark wisely pulls it out to Burston.
Boy, Manhattan had a big-time break there. 2 easy chippies missed by Ryder. You got to make those, Doug.
Under 20 seconds on the shot clock. Left wide open Perry on a defensive mistake.
That's no communication defensively, and you know John Lennon's going to talk about that. You got to talk on defense. If they're switching on screens, you got to make sure everybody's in sync.
This copyrighted telecast of the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the MAAC and MAAC properties. Well, Ryder started the game slowly, Glenn, but they've really picked it up on a run to take a 17-2 lead.
Right now, John Lennon is not happy about the communication, the defensive communication of his Manhattan Jaspers. See, if one guy is playing a certain way and the other 4 are playing the other way, the defense is going to break down, and John Lennon knows it. What happened there was both guys went with the guy coming off the screen, and in that case...
There you see, since Manhattan took an 8-0 lead, it's been all Ryder, scoring 17 of the next 21 points. They lead it by 5. Doug Sherman, Glenn Consor, Howard Simon from the Pepsi Arena in Albany.
Manhattan's trying to stop a 12-2 run of Ryder.
Lacey, the defensive rebound. Off to Finnefrock. Kevin Finnefrock, 5'9", 160-pound junior from Ohio.
He's got a lot of energy. I call him the Steve Wojciechowski of the MAAC Conference. Good outside shooter, plays that tough defense.
Block shot by Lyons. Perry went up strong, but Lyons was stronger. Anderson guarded by Finnefrock. I think Anderson feels like he can take Finnefrock off the dribble at will.
Yeah, what Manhattan's doing, they're just clearing out a side and letting Anderson just go to work on Finnefrock.
And we have an officials timeout from the Pepsi Arena. 11:37 left to go in the first half. Ryder by 5 on the MAAC Television Network. Midland Bank is proud to sponsor the Marine Midland Family Section. Tickets and programs for today's game were provided by Marine Midland Bank, banking for the real world. And we're back at the Pepsi Arena in Albany. Rider cheerleaders just heading off the floor. 11:37 left to go in the first half. Rider has stormed back after falling behind the Jaspers 8-zip. Good crowd from New York City and other Manhattan grads who live in the area always come out to support the Jaspers here in Albany. Air ball, McPeak playing quarterback, and the pass at least deflected, now intercepted all the way by Manhattan. Kyle Dye comes up with a steal. Boo Lane is checked into the game for Manhattan as well. He's at the point, number 10. Into Brown, jump hook. And Perry pulls down the rebound. O'Brien wisely pulled off that.
Doug, in order for Manhattan to have a potent offense, Travis Lyons is going to have to catch the ball in the blocks. They're going to need to give him some good looks and create some good space for him to operate. They can't just rely on their outside shooting. Battle going on between Lyons and McPeak as Travis is trying to three-quarter front McPeak on the blocks. He got called for the foul. Keep your eye on Travis. Now Travis is trying to just get around him, and McPeak just had those arms up high. Could have went either way.
Michael Crawford has come into the game, the backup point guard for Rider. Freshman from Winchester, Virginia. That's a three-pointer by Perry. Derek Perry has 5 points. And Rider has opened up an 8-point lead. They have run right past the Jaspers. Kyle Crandall has also come into the game for Manhattan. Boulain drops it off for Brown. Kind of chucks it up there and it goes in.
Ron Leonard puts in Kyle Crandall just to match up a little better height-wise with McPeak. And Laces in the game, and now you got Stevie McDowell going up against Perry inside. That's a nice little battle.
Lane pulls up, and he hits from 18 feet just inside the three-point line. So Manhattan back within 4.
Now with Boo Lane in the game, Alvin Anderson moves to the 2-guard spot. Makes Manhattan that much of a quicker team, Doug.
Dye into Brown. Tries to go with a reverse, and he's fouled from behind by McPeak.
That's a nice drop step move inside, and Donnie Harnham has to be concerned about letting Darrell Brown, who is actually Manhattan College most skilled low post player with the exception of Travis Lyons. Little drop step move, puts it on the floor, establishes position. McPeak comes from the weak side, picks up the foul.
And Brown, one of the bright young freshmen in the MAAC, as you see from New Britain, Connecticut.
And Doug, he's about 15 to 20 pounds away from being a real effective power forward in this league.
He had a real strange stat line against St. Peter's yesterday. Darrell played 24 minutes, Glenn. No shots, no rebounds, no points, no assists, no blocks. 2 fouls in 24 minutes.
But he had some minutes. He wasn't shut out of the minute column.
Not terribly active, but he was out there.
Well, he must have been doing something right. There's still things you can do, Doug. You can set screens, you can play defense. Might not get steals, but you can play good, solid defense. I'm searching.
You play over half the game and don't take a shot.
That's okay.
2017. Rider ball. Perry was able to save it off the leg of Anderson.
Manhattan staying with a straight man. And if I'm Rider right now, I'd go right down to McPeak and let him go to work on Crandall. Nice defense.
Ridden out of bounds. Foul on Perry.
That's a nice gesture by Derek Perry. Helping up Alvin Anderson.
No
Went
intent.
hard into the table. He did.
No intent to harm. McDowell going to try and walk it off after a nice defense. Like you said, the overplay turns into a steal.
Harder to the table, and Derek Perry just trying to pick him up.
McDowell able to stay into the game. He inbounds to Lane. Lyons has come back in from Manhattan. I also noticed, Glenn, that on defense, Ryder's very good with help side defense. You watch Lacey and McPeak in the paint, and they are always watching the ball.
Blue Lane's just trying to isolate on Finnefrock, who's doing a nice job of not letting him penetrate to create and get in the lane. And right now with this offense, you have 2 point guards, Anderson and Lane, neither able to be productive.
That horn you heard, the shot clock going off, but since Ryder already had possession after the air ball, play continues. Entry pass knocked out of bounds by Brown. It'll be Ryder ball. Ryder with a record of 18-8 overall, a successful first season in the MAAC, 12-6 in league play, and they held on to second place. Had a big game last week at home against Siena for second place and for the second seed. And maybe even more importantly, that game had definite implications for a possible NIT bid. Number 2 team in the MAAC has a much stronger case about getting an NIT bid. So Ryder in good shape to turn it over here. And there's a timeout call. 7:55 remaining in the first half from Albany. Ryder leads by 3 on the MAAC Television Network.
Fans inside section 128, row L. You all just won a half-gallon of Turkey Hill ice cream.
Citizens Communications for its support. Citizens Communications, the official telecommunications company of the MAAC.
Fans, here's a summary of this season's Chase MAAC Players of the Week. Kashif Hamid, Mike Powell, Marcus Faison, 3 each. Tariq Kirksey, Jason Rowe, John McDonald, Travis Lyons, the other multiple winners of the Chase MAAC Player of the Week award. Jim Cantamesa, Ricky Bellinger, and Jermaine Young were the other winners. And Travis Lyons, a first-team All-Star this year, and really developed nicely this year. Had been a role player for 3 years in Riverdale, and he is the man now for Manhattan. Lyons has 4 points so far tonight. Manhattan trailing 20-17. Make that a tie ball game. Steve McDowell steps up, and it's a 2-pointer, so it's not a tie game yet. 2019 Ryder on top.
Nice job by McDowell waiting for the screen from Lyons, which freed him up for the J.
Ryder by a point with the basketball. Kalen Smith is into the game, number 22 for Ryder. Lacey fouled from behind by O'Brien, and Lacey will go to the line.
Manhattan came down, switched their defense to a 2-3 zone.
Manhattan foul was against number 35, Brendan O'Brien. That is his first.
Anytime you see zone, you want to try to look inside. For an isolation, guys like Lacey and McPeak, when Manhattan plays zone, could really post up because of their size.
John Leonard, another guy from this area, went to Niskayuna High School not far away. 22-19, couple of free throws made by Lacey. Finnefrock's back in at the point for Ryder, defending Anderson. Good defense by Tuomu to deny the ball to McDowell, and Tuomu then comes down with a defensive rebound. Able to get rid of the ball before he traveled. Under 7 minutes to go in the first half. 3-point Ryder lead.
John Leonard mixing up his defense. Segment before, playing a 2-3 zone. Now back to a man. And Finnefrock's the key. He's the guy that's going to be calling out the signals when Manhattan changes their defense, just to make sure Ryder is running the proper offense.
Finnefrock Missed it, but he was fouled by Anderson. So Finnefrock will go to the line to shoot three free throws. 16th foul against Manhattan. Anderson picked it up, and Finnefrock, who's a terrific foul shooter, will go to the line. Third in the MAAC at 86%.
Albert Anderson, not a good play. Ran at the shooter, just hit his hands, and Finnefrock kind of drew that a little bit, and John Leonard knows it.
Finnefrock, a member of the All-MAAC academic team, a 3.42 GPA in secondary education. That's his first point of the ball game.
I said to Finnefrock before the game, you cut your hair. What's up with the short look on the side? He said, I'm just trying to be quicker. I need to be quicker against the guards. Then he's got the stubble growing. I said, but if that's the case, you got to take a shave too then. He knows, and Donnie Harnum knows, that they're going to need his quickness against the very quick backcourt of Anderson and Mellish.
Well, Finnefrock's still not 100%, Glenn, from that ankle sprain that he suffered a few weeks ago. Certainly is much better. But there was a time in the middle of the season when Ryder hit a lull that coincided with him not being at full strength.
However, the freshman Michael Crawford did a nice job replacing Finnefrock, and it's really made Finnefrock, Crawford's development as a freshman has made Finnefrock a better player. Had that competition in practice with Crawford breathing down his neck.
Tata Tuomu turned it over, back to Manhattan. Jasper's down 4 with the basketball. Lions backing down. Again, the double team. Somebody's got to be open. Anderson shot off the mark, and McPeak brings it up to Finnefrock. Lob up ahead, Lacey.
Oh, nice job by Lacey just to gather himself. Just couldn't finish.
O'Brien got back, disrupted him just enough.
Anderson's over-penetrating. He's getting in way too deep. He's out of control. I think John's got to take him out, talk to him a little bit, let the offense set up. Go into the 35-second clock a little bit, then penetrate. Right now, his game is predictable.
And right on cue, Anderson out. Boulain in. Right on top of it, Glenn. You ever been a coach?
No.
Want to be a coach?
No. Like what I'm doing right here, Doug.
You never lose a game.
That's right. Those turnovers, a lot of those turnovers came off of Anderson's over-penetration.
First and lost it. Here comes Boulain. Nice pass inside. McDowell got underneath, and Ryder seemed to forget about it.
Very nice job, though, by Boulain. We talked about over-penetrating, getting in too deep. Lane didn't do that. He kind of let the wing players get in first. He was able to read the defense.
23-21. Ryder's point lead down to 2. Less than 5 minutes to go in the first half. Lacey finds McPeak, who missed the layup. Rebounding foul against McPeak. But Lacey and McPeak again, nice job finding each other, passing over the top of the defense.
They play very, very well together. At 6'9" and 6'8". Bursting inside to Lacey, who's playing on that block, and he hits McPeak kind of flashing in. You got to make the shot. Get in that close, Doug. You got to make it. Use the glass. A lot of those big guys don't like to use the glass. I think it makes your shot that much softer. You have a bigger target to go for.
Only the 4th team foul against Ryder as McPeak has left the game. Lane missed the fade. Here comes Ryder. Finnefrock, little up fake around McDowell. Nice crash by Lacey, but we've got a foul against Lacey.
Number 5, Lacey of Ryder is charged with his first
Finnefrock
foul. That's
with the long miss that comes off the rim, and Lacey comes over the top, and Boulain. Not the place he really wants to be, hitting those defensive boards with those big tall trees coming over his back.
Now Boo at 5'11", 170, which might be a generous listing. Here's a steal. Perry. And Lane reaches in and picks his pocket. Out of bounds. Nice play again by Boulain.
Boulain's doing a nice job, and if I'm John Leonard, I'd leave Bou in. Right now, Anderson's more of an explosive player, but Boulain appears to be more what they need in the way of team leadership.
Finnefrock knocks down the three. Ryder back on top, 26-21. Manhattan opened up the game with an 8-0 spurt, but the Bronx have led since. They went on a run. Foul on the drive to the basket. Mars Mellish penetrating for the Jaspers. And it is a shooting foul.
Mellish beats Burston out top, and you see Derek Perry step in. See, that's when you want to rotate up and try to draw the offensive charge. A lot of guys like to watch the penetrator from a defensive standpoint. You got to stay down in your defensive position, rotate in, try to take that charge.
Mars Mellish missed the first. He's a 6'1" freshman from New Brunswick. Terrell Brown in, and Boulain goes out. McDowell, Mellish, Brown, O'Brien, and Lyons, the 5 on the floor now for Manhattan. Mellish gets his first point of the game, and we are to a break in the action. We'll step away from the Pepsi Arena late in the first half. We'll be back with more MAAC basketball after this.
Support fans, don't forget, nothing else is a Pepsi. Grab an ice cold Pepsi and enjoy the game.
Reason to cheer if you're with the Ryder Bronx. They lead by 4 in this MAAC quarterfinal game at the Pepsi Arena. And welcome back to Albany, New York. Good crowd as the arena continues to fill up. The nightcap of this evening doubleheader is Siena against Canisius coming up after this one. And the hometown Saints, I was just talking to John D'Argenio, the athletic director of Siena. They've already sold 8,000 tickets for tonight, and they expect a couple thousand walk-up.
They've been buzzing about that game, the first round game, for 2 weeks now. Nice dish inside by Perry. See, Perry's playing that small forward position, a spot that he has not played in the past. Normally he's been playing a 4. Perry more effective facing the basket. Nice dish.
And Lacey now has 10 points. Ryder maintaining its 6-point lead.
Travis Lyons has had no looks in the first half. They got to find a way to get him the basketball.
There's Travis facing the hoop, but he pulls it out. McDowell. And a push by Lyons. Gave a little shove to McClark from the back, and they caught him.
Travis getting frustrated. It's a big difference from getting touches on offense when you're not in scoring areas versus where you can score, and Travis really has been shut down in the first half. He's best on wheel and seal type plays when he's on the blocks.
And that's the second on Lyons, the 7th against Manhattan, so Lacey toes the stripe for a 1-and-1. Lacey started the last 13 games. Just a couple of games in December with a leg injury, but he's back to 100%.
He hurt Manhattan the first time these two teams met, yanking down 12 rebounds. He's versatile, he's quick, and he's 6'9".
And he's clutch. 2 weeks ago, he hit the game-winning shot late against St. Peter's.
He was on the all-rookie team of the Northeastern Conference last year before Ryder joined Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference.
2:55 left to go in the half. 30-22. O'Brien, who hit a couple of threes early, has been quiet since. Boulain guarded by Finnefrock. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Mellish. Lyons penetrates, and he draws the foul. Lacey picks it up. And that's more, Glenn, what Lions needs to do, take a more proactive approach.
Yeah, I mean, Manhattan did a nice job of clearing out, giving him some room to operate. But I still think Travis's game is on the blocks. It doesn't matter how tall the defender is guarding Lions. And that time, Lacey just was out of position, gave him the first step, and then bumped him. But Travis Doug is going to be more effective when he's on the blocks and his 4 perimeter players playing that wheel and seal offense around him. He's one of those players with the ability to feel the defense on his back and go the other way.
Lacey out after committing the foul. 17th foul against Ryder. Both teams over the 7-foul limit. Greg Burston gets the rebound. Well, Burston, a 1,000-point score for Ryder. Got that on one of our MAAC telecasts down at Marist. From the other side, the 3 by Derek Perry. His second long-range bomb.
Derek Perry, Doug, is one of those utility guys. He just does whatever the team needs him to do, whether it's rebound, score, shoot threes. Throws up a lot of junk points on the boards, hitting the offensive boards.
Seconds to shoot. Lions again working on McClark this time. O'Brien hits the 3. That'll burn you every time if you're the Ryder defense.
See, he causes matchup problems against any team in this league because he's 6'9". He's really a 2-guard or a small forward that just faces the basket. And what he does, because he's 6'9", he pulls away usually one of the opponent's big guys away from the basket.
And finally this year on offense, he's been allowed to play a lot more wing, face the basket.
Right. It just takes away another rebounder, in this case from Ryder's standpoint, away from the blocks.
Unforced error that time by Derek Perry. Shuffled his feet and turn it back over to Jaspers.
John Leonard continues to change his defense. And that segment was a 1-2-2. Seems to be mixing it up quite a bit.
Crandall and McDowell in. Terrell Brown to the bench. And Lyons is checked out with just over a minute to go in the first half. Another unforced error. This one for Manhattan. It goes back over.
Number 43, Kyle Dye, returns.
Kyle Dye in for the Jaspers. McDowell's gone out.
It's a 3-2 zone, Doug.
Strong move, but a nice block shot by Brendan O'Brien.
That was good defense that time by Crandall as well, not picking up the foul after he got beat high.
That's where O'Brien defensively is at his best. He can be muscled, but he's got the long arms. He picks up a lot of block shots and helping out. And now Manhattan's got free throws coming up. Foul against Jonathan McClark.
Crandall gets McClark on his back. He kind of tied him up. Goes up strong, but the foul actually, I thought that foul happened early in that play. On the bump out top, but Kyle goes to the line for a 1-1.
Kyle Dye and McClark got tangled up. And another. Let's see. So it goes against Manhattan that time. Dye got the personal.
You look at the ebb and flow of this game, and tempo-wise, it seems like Manhattan is playing at the speed and pace that John Leonard wants Manhattan to play, but they're just not executing a half-court offense. That's where they struggled. Ryder has gotten not many baskets in transition.
John Leonard playing a little offense-defense with 37 seconds left. With his substitutions, bringing in his better offensive players and taking out the better defenders, with the Jaspers likely to get the ball after the free throws. Jonathan McClark, 6'7", 215 pounds, from Providence, Rhode Island.
Get that shit out.
Gets the nice shooter's roll.
He's getting a lot more minutes lately. Jonathan McClark, when he is in the game, he's very quick and athletic. Ryder's team becomes a quicker team with him on the floor. It's a little bit quicker on the low post than McPeak is.
Just barely nicked the iron. Game clock is at 31. Shot clock at 30. Manhattan down 9, trying to close out the first half on an up note. Alvin Anderson, guarded by Finifron. 9 seconds to shoot. You see the 2 clocks on your screen. Mellish crosses over, leans in. Follow-up is good by Lyons. And that is the half. Good half by the Ryder Bronx. They fell behind early, but Donnie Harlan goes into the locker room with a 7-point lead. We'll be back with more MAAC basketball after this.
450 years of Jesuit tradition are woven into a Fairfield University education, an education characterized by academic excellence and service to the community. This success is fostered by a caring faculty that knows their students as individuals. Located just an hour from New York City, Fairfield combines a park-like campus conducive to learning with the city's cultural and career advantages. Fairfield University, where education reflects the challenges and opportunities of a changing world.
All right, Billy, you have 2 more shots to redeem yourself.
I want to see the rebounds. Rebounds.
All right, here goes Billy for a 3-pointer. An NBA 3-pointer. It's short. A good try, Billy. All right, here's our final competitor, Tim Long. Tim is going to make all 3 shots. Tim is going to make the last 2 shots. Here's Tim's free throw. Tim is going to hit the rim on the 3-pointer. Here goes Tim for 3. And it's no good. Looks like Sergio's the big winner with the layup. Let's have a nice round of applause for tonight's participants, except for Billy. The MAAC would like to thank GMAC for their support of MAAC basketball.
Ryder 34, Manhattan 27. Our score at the half of our Pepsi MAAC basketball quarterfinal from the Pepsi Arena in Albany. And welcome back, everybody. Doug Sherman along with Glenn Consor. And Manhattan came out quickly, looked like they were ready. Brendan O'Brien, a couple of 3-pointers early, but Ryder's looked much better over the last 15 minutes.
Yeah, Ryder's done a nice job defensively this game, primarily stopping Travis Lyons, who's been the big gun for Manhattan. I think Manhattan's got to make an adjustment offensively, which is the area they really struggled, executing a half-court offense. They're going to need Doug to set some screens for Travis Lyons, get him some looks on the blocks in the paint where he's most effective. I think Manhattan really dies offensively when he gets no looks, where they have to rely on their outside shooting.
Okay, let's take a look at the regular season standings around the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference, brought to us by Citizens Communications.
As you can see, Iona just dominating the conference. They had the 3 conference losses, 25-5 overall with the big win today. And Manhattan at 11-16. I still think that this is the type of team that's a lot better than their record indicates. Fairfield and St. Peter's not getting past the play-in games, but of course Ryder and Siena are 2 teams that could really do some damage.
Indeed. Now let's check the scores from earlier in the tournament, brought to you by Mazda.
Well, Manhattan in the playoff game really looked good against St. Peter's, shot the ball well, played excellent defense. The Marist Fairfield play-in game was terrific going into overtime. Then we had another overtime game, Niagara Loyola, which was a great game. So we saw some great games so far early in this tournament.
And in terms of the rest of the tournament, this is how it stacks up. Iona and Loyola already into the semifinals. They'll meet tomorrow night at 6 o'clock here at the Pepsi. And then Manhattan and Ryder playing here trying to make it to the semis, where they will face the winner of tonight's second game, Siena against Canisius. Our halftime score, 34-27. Ryder leads Manhattan from the Pepsi Arena in Albany. We'll be back with more MAAC basketball after this.
The Internet. Billions of miles of cable connecting employers with some of the best and brightest minds in the country. The students and alumni of the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference Career Centers. To advertise your full-time, part-time, or internship opportunity, contact your Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference Career Center or call JobTrack. 800-999-TRACK.
This game is brought to you in part by Marine Midland Bank, banking for the real world. By Pepsi Cola, Pepsi, Generation Next. By GMAC and the GM College Grad Program. By Citizens Communications, the official telecommunications company of the MAAC. The New York Lottery, they're the hottest tickets in town. Chase Manhattan Bank, the right relationship is everything. And by Mazda. The Rider Broncs enjoy a 7-point lead at the half in this MAAC quarterfinal from the Pepsi Arena in Albany, New York. Now, earlier this season, Manhattan College held a benefit dinner for former Jasper Junius Kellogg, honoring him on his 70th birthday and on the 45th anniversary of his graduating class. An original member of the college's Hall of Fame, Kellogg's story is a truly remarkable one. New York One sports reporter Kevin Garrity has the details.
It was about 45 years ago that Junius Kellogg's friendly smile graced the campus of Manhattan College. A 6'8" center from Portsmouth, Virginia, Kellogg was the first African-American player to wear the Jaspers uniform back in the early 50s. One day after practice, Hank Poppy, a former Manhattan co-captain who had graduated the year before, went to Kellogg's dorm room. After knocking on his door, Poppy presented Kellogg with an interesting offer.
You could think about you can make some money if you participated, and you don't have to lose. You just save a few points, cut the margin down, and hey, everybody makes out. So I'd never heard of anything like this before.
He may have been the ideal person to contact because of being black. He came from the South, and the possibility of needing money. I suppose that's the reason the fellows contacted him.
Kellogg reported the situation to his coach, Ken Norton, who advised him to go to the Bronx district attorney. Kellogg then agreed to cooperate with authorities.
They asked if I would, what happened, and then asked if I would cooperate so that when he calls, to go along with it. And they wired me, and I met him a couple of times, and we set it up.
Soon thereafter, Poppy and another former Manhattan player were arrested in what was the beginning of the point-shaving scandals of 1951. Also involved in the scandal were players from City College of New York, LIU, and NYU, as well as colleges from all over the country.
What he did at that time was a defining moment in basketball, both for the New York metropolitan area and for the rest of the United States. I mean, I don't know where I'd be today. I mean, if that scandal had gone on and broken much later, and I don't know where basketball in this area and around the country would be.
After earning his degree from Manhattan College, Kellogg joined up with the Harlem Globetrotters. One off-season, he and three of his Globetrotter teammates were driving through Arkansas, heading to an exhibition game. The back tire blew on the car they were driving in, and the vehicle rolled over 5 times. Junius Kellogg was seriously injured, paralyzed from the neck down.
I thought it was temporary, not having had any more than a cold most of my life, and being young, you figure you're invincible, whatever it is, I can deal with it.
Confined to a wheelchair for the rest of his life, Kellogg has persevered. He has been a coach for a wheelchair basketball team that has won championships all over the world, and he is still employed by the city of New York in the Department of Youth and Community Development.
I think the story here is about integrity, character, honesty, and courage. That was what it's all about. And now, after his accident, I've seen those very same characteristics throughout his whole life.
He's a high-class gentleman as far as I'm concerned. he's always been that way. He showed that to me when he was an athlete here.
If I talked to him today, he'd tell me he's lucky, and he would tell me that God is good. And he's my role model. He's also my hero.
Just a great story. We'd like to thank Kevin Garrity from New York One once again for that feature on Junius Kellogg. Well, his Manhattan Jaspers are trailing at the half. To Ryder, 34-27. Back with more halftime on the MAAC Television Network.
You can pick up a lot of things at Rider University. All of them lead to success. Call or visit Rider University in the heart of central New Jersey.
The Jaspers open up the ballgame with an 8-0 spurt, but they find themselves trailing at the half 34-27. When we come back, a complete rundown of the first half stats on the MAAC Television Network.
I love Manhattan College. I don't like it. I love it. It's my life.
Bad job from the floor shooting 50%.
My Gammy and Da are watching me on the Jazz and the Jaspers on MSG.
Gammy
Wish you were here.
Anybody's got nicknames for the grandparents.
Gammy and Da.
Great.
How about your kids?
Manny and Poppy and Mima and Peepop. It's not funny.
No, I like that. I'm laughing with them, not at them. Your children are in high school by this time.
That's right. They're all grown up and stuff. Then it would be fun.
Maybe not. Lacey strong to the basket. Missed the layup. Bunch of players playing with 2 fouls. So we'll keep track of McPeak and Lacey inside for Ryder, and also McDowell, Lyons, and Anderson for the Jaspers. O'Brien has the ball stripped away, but a foul called against Ryder. Tata Tuomu picks it up.
John Leonard said at halftime, get the ball into Lyons' hands in the paint. Usually something productive happens. That time he was able to draw the defense out to free up Brendan.
That's the first on Tuomu. And Brendan O'Brien's into double figures. He's got 10 points. after knocking down 3 3-pointers in the first half. And 10 points is exactly his average this season.
Coming out, playing straight man. It's good defense out top by Mellish, denying Finnefrock the ball, which kept the ball on one side of the floor, not allowing Ryder to reverse it, and that's what happens.
And Burston was on the sideline when he took the pass from McPeak, right in front of the Ryder bench. So the Jaspers get the basketball back down by 5. Anderson and Mellish in the backcourt. Lyons, McDowell, and O'Brien across the front line for the Jaspers, with really a 3-guard offense and almost a 4-guard offense if you count O'Brien as a perimeter player. Nice job by Lyons to come to the basketball. And he goes strong to the rack and lays it in.
Our middle was wide open for Lyons to operate. No weak side defense from Ryder.
Finnefrock, Burston, Tuomu, Lacey, and McPeak, same starting 5 for the Ryder Broncs in their first season in the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference. Burston off to Finnefrock. Stripped away. Nice defense by Lacey. Can he come up with it? Tips it, and Tuomu has it. No one had possession, and the ball went about 70 feet. Finnefrock. Manhattan ball.
Finnefrock thought the shot got blocked, and when it went out of bounds, he was pleading to the official that it was off of Manhattan, but they didn't buy into it. Neither did I.
17:50 left to go in the second half. Layup by Anderson. And the Jaspers are within a point. They have scored 6 unanswered points to begin the second half, much like they did to begin the ball game.
Looks like we're going to be jumping on the seesaw once again, Doug, watching this one.
Tuomu gets the Broncs on the board here in the second half from the corner. That's 6'4" Tata. Played on the 1992 national team for Cameroon. And he strips the ball away from McDowell, who throws a hip check and picks up the personal.
Tata's got a brother playing at Georgetown. It's another fine player as well. There's a little schoolyard strip as Anderson tried to cross over.
Well, during halftime, the selected MAAC basketball game, GMAC, and the GM College Grad Program are proud to sponsor the GMAC Shootout. Grant, now is the time to reward yourself. See your participating GM dealer for details. Tuomu leans in, gets it back, strong to the basket. He lays it in. 8 points for Tata. And Ryder back up by 6. So maybe we won't get on the seesaw yet. Anderson had it stripped out of bounds by Finnefrock. It'll be Manhattan ball.
Ryder's the type of team that shoots at a high percentage, but when you look at their roster, they don't really have great outside shooting, which means they execute well. They're a patient team on offense, and they like to score in transition to get easy baskets, which usually elevates those percentage points.
Burston gets whistled for the foul as Lyons again takes it strong. And once again, he starts by facing the basket.
Yeah, he just puts on his headlights and the train goes straight to the basket and gets the foul. And he really is a step quicker than McPeak is, and what Manhattan's trying to do is isolate Travis Lyons. And when you think about isolating him, Doug, you normally think about isolating him on the blocks, but they're isolating him high now, creating some space and letting him blow by McPeak.
And McPeak will go out of the game. He has 2 fouls, and maybe to protect him a little bit and also to keep him exposing that defensive deficiency on the perimeter. Finnefrock goes out as well.
Exactly, and putting in Jonathan McClark, who at 6'7", 215, even though he's not as strong as McPeak is, he's a lot quicker. and more athletic and probably defend Lions more outside. Now expect Lions to try to post them up a little bit because Lions are a lot stronger than Clark is.
Lions up to 10 points. Brendan O'Brien's got 11 for the Jaspers, who trail by 4. Burston makes it a 7-point difference. Greg Burston now has 6.
Burston's got that type of jump shot where he kind of like aims it in mid-stroke and lets it go.
Lions now guarded by Lacey to McDowell. Fires it up quick from the corner. Let's look inside. Lyons doesn't get the roll. Travis Lyons still after it. And Tata Tuomu's got it for Ryder. Looks like Travis Lyons is hurting.
He might have pulled a groin as he went up. Came down in pain, or his wrist.
Brendan O'Brien from 20. Answers back for Manhattan. O'Brien's outside shooting has helped to keep Manhattan in it. He's got 14 points, and you see Lyons, it's that right wrist or hand. And he's waving to the bench now saying, don't take me out, I'm okay, let me play through. And for a senior who's waited this long to get in this position, he does not want to come out of the game.
Burston's one of those patient scorers. Really lets the game come to him. He's unselfish, yet explosive.
Well, Lyons will stay in the ball game as he goes to the foul line. Darrell Brown is waiting at the scorer's table to come in for him. Lyons doesn't want to leave, and that's one way to do it. See how badly he wants to stay in the game if he makes the first and misses the second. Can't take him out after a miss. Lyons from Hyattsville, Maryland, has hit a career high of 23 points 3 times this year. 7th in the league in scoring.
Played for the legend Morgan Wooten at the legendary DeMatha High School. So many great players coming out of DeMatha, including Adrian Dantley, who he has patterned his game after.
McPeak in, Tuomu and Lacey out. Also Michael Crawford's back in. Lions the only Manhattan Jasper to start every game so far this season. Very durable. Makes 1 out of 2, and Brown will come in. Lions will go out. When we come back, a break in the action. It's a 5-point Ryder lead on the MAAC Television Network.
Marist is a small liberal arts college with a national reputation for excellence in teaching. State-of-the-art technology at Marist helps students prepare for graduate school or business. Marist received the Cause Award as one of the top 4 colleges in the use of technology in and out of the classroom, along with Cornell, Stanford, and Duquesne universities. Marist's 150-acre riverfront campus is in the heart of the historic Hudson River Valley, 75 miles from New York City. To find out more about Marist, call 1-800-436-5483.
Special thanks to Brugger.
Here's a look at a summary of this season's Chase MAAC Rookies of the Week. And Scott Knapp won it 5 times. Should also say that Kamal McQueen, unfortunately for St. Peter's, who had a terrific season, fell victim to the flu bug or maybe something worse and missed the last couple of weeks of the season. Was able to play in yesterday's St. Peter's game, but he had a fantastic freshman year. As we are here in Albany, some of the folks from Lawrenceville, New Jersey, saying hello to Texas and North Carolina. Well, for those of you tuning in to see the Siena-Canisius game scheduled to begin at 9 o'clock, that will come up after this one winds up. 14:40 left to go in the second half. Earlier today, Loyola beat Niagara in the first quarterfinal in an overtime game, which pushed the schedule back a little bit. And then Iona, the top seed, easily disposed of the Marist Red Foxes. So tomorrow night at 6 o'clock in the first semifinal, Iona will face Loyola. And then we are obviously still waiting to see what the nightcap will bring. Jasper's down by 5 with the basketball.
Johnny Harden has put in Michael Crawford, really getting a chance to see our first look at Michael Crawford, number 10 on Ryder, who's defending Alvin Anderson, who's actually the second all-time leading high school scorer in the state of Virginia. At Winchester, Virginia.
Yeah, that's saying something. Nice putback by O'Brien. That's 16 points for Brendan O'Brien. Howard mentioned at the start of the broadcast that O'Brien is wanting to end his college career, or at least finish it out, the MAAC part of it, here in his home area from Troy, just across the Hudson River. And so far he's been doing a good defense by Anderson to force the 5-second violation. Crawford turns it over. Lions back in. And O'Brien goes out.
Alvin Anderson, as a freshman, is one of the top defensive guards in this league. He's doing a nice job getting that 5-second call on the freshman. That's a freshman mistake.
Best thing about freshmen, they become sophomores. Lions with the jump hook. Travis Lyons up to 13 points. And the seniors, Lyons and O'Brien, are leading the Jaspers back in it. They're down by only a point.
See, with Crawford in the game, it just gives Ryder just that much more of a scoring punch. Even though Finnefrock could put up a lot of points, Crawford is a little bit more of an explosive scorer than Finnefrock is.
Finnefrock's game is more knocking down the open three-pointer. First in. Dumps it off. Perry lays it in. Ryder back up by 3. Seems like the Bronx just won't let the Jaspers get over that hump.
Hurston in the second half has been effective off the bounce, getting in the lane, making himself a threat.
Perry's into double figures now with 10 for Ryder. Lacey's got 12 to lead the Bronx. Millet, strong move to the basket. Once again, it's a one-point game. Ryder 46, Manhattan 45. Burston with a man in his face. Dye gets the foul, and so Burston to the line to shoot 3.
Not the kind of defensive segment John Leonard wanted. Not only is this a bad foul, but it stops the momentum that Manhattan had as Burston goes to the line now to shoot 3. Kills some time. Lets Manhattan settle down a little bit. You want to be able to go with the flow a little bit if you score some points.
Greg Burston, for being such a good scorer and a good shooter, is only 51% from the foul line. Hard to believe. He's 1 for 2. Third one coming up. Boulain, Steve McDowell in for Manhattan. Finnefrock back for Crawford. McClark goes out as Lacey comes back in for the Bronx. Until a few years ago, it used to be Ryder College. Now it's Ryder University down in Lawrenceville, New Jersey, in between Princeton and Trenton. And until this year, when Ryder joined the conference, I had not been to that campus. Beautiful school down there. And Burston goes to the bench now with 10 points. No call. Ruled incidental. Lions against the double team. Nice dish for Darrell Brown, and he puts it home.
The defense converges on Travis Lyons like bees on honey, and that leaves Brown wide open on the weak side. And that's what makes Travis Lyons so dangerous, Doug, is that he's a good passer in that low block as well.
One of those guys very patient when he's got the basketball. Not afraid to wait for something to develop. Ball goes out of bounds, and we have timeout on the floor. 11:47 left in regulation on the MAAC Television Network.
It's time for the Burger King Lucky Row of the game. If your row is chosen, you just won a free Whopper, courtesy of Burger King. All right, tonight's Lucky Row is in section 111, row R.
Let's take a look at the final Citizens Communications long-distance shooter standings. And Scott Knapp, also the Rookie of the Year, gets there on his long-distance shooting ability. Citizens Communications, the official telecommunications company of the MAAC. Once again, the proud sponsor of the MAAC long-distance shooter of the year.
That guy's going to be a good shooter, I can tell. Got the good concentration. Look at the concentration on the light. See that?
Well, that's Jack.
You make believe that's the rim?
Yeah. Jack Mulvey there. I'm guessing that's his grandson. Jack used to play at Siena back in the day. Saints fans are pouring in, expecting a crowd of near 10,000 for tonight's second game between Siena and Canisius. Well, Manhattan hanging around. They're back in it because of good shooting.
They certainly are. Ryder is shooting a nice percentage, 7 for 11 from the three-point line.
Finnefrock will go to the line. Boulain picks it up. Personal, that is. Well, John Leonard's got himself a lot of guards that, depending on who's playing well, he can go with who's doing the right thing. Boulain picks up the personal this time. Little swipe.
Finnefrock had 27 points earlier this year against Manhattan. A lot of those points came from the free throw line, exactly the way we saw him get there now, just getting in the lane, getting the defense up in the air. Finnefrock's tricky. He's got the little lean in.
Back on February 22nd, just over a week ago, he unloaded for 32 points against Siena, but only 5 so far tonight. Ryder's lead is 2. Jaspers with the basketball. McDowell's pass. Finally, Lyons comes away with it. 18 seconds on the shot clock. Kyle Dye strong to the hole, and that should be an offensive foul. Now McPeak is called for the block. Lacey called for the foul.
Manhattan is deep in the guard spot as Boulain did a nice job at drawing the defense. Perry couldn't recover. McPeak comes in from the weak side, and Dye ends up getting a little bump from McPeak. Goes to the line.
Kyle Dye, 6'4" junior from Decatur, Georgia, connects his first point of the game. McClark back in for Ryder. Lacey goes out. After picking up that personal, they called him on the foul up top before McPeak stepped over. McClark the rebound. 49-48. Ryder has not allowed Manhattan to tie it up here in the second half. Darrell Brown called for the foul. Coming around the backside. And he got a piece of Kevin McPeak. Good to see the senior Lions come over and tell the freshman Brown, settle down, it's all right.
Consolation. See, Brown's trying to not let McPeak establish position, but he lunged. See, if he wouldn't have lunged, he wouldn't have picked up the foul. He was in fine position, fine three-quarter position in the low post.
Ryder Bronx work to half court. Perry. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Smith inside McPeak. Good position. Came up short, and Travis Lyons triggers what might be a tying break for the Jaspers, or a go-ahead break. Manhattan into the half court. 49-48 Ryder. Got to come to the ball.
Step at the ball. See, Brown's not moving in the low post. Travis Lyons is looking down low, and no one's there.
With the shot clock winding down, Boulain misses. So again, Manhattan misses an opportunity to take the lead. Trying to wrestle it away from the Bronx, who have led since the first half. It was 34-27 Ryder at the break. Boulain the rebound.
Boulain was not shot ready in that break. He had a little foul line jump shot. He passed up. I say you shoot that. You're not going to get a better look at the basket than a 10-foot little baby shot right by the middle of the foul line.
And perhaps the same could be said right there for Travis Lyons. He might have had a little 5-foot look, but was trying to find his teammate Darrell Brown. Brown goes out. Brendan O'Brien comes back. Tuomu and Burston return for Ryder. Smith and Perry head out for the Bronx. .9:30 left to go, second half. And that gives the Jaspers their first lead of the second half. Alvin Anderson from the corner. 7 points now for Anderson. Manhattan 51, Ryder 49. Ryder swept Manhattan this year in the season series, winning 67-55 down in New Jersey, and then winning at Grady Gymnasium 82-71. Finnefrock missed the layup. O'Brien the rebound.
Oh, Manhattan got a break. Finnefrock couldn't have got a better look at the rim. No weak side came up.
O'Brien off of the inside outside. Lyons gets the assist, and the Jaspers have a 54-49 lead.
I get a timeout if I'm Donnie Harnum right now. Take the 20.
That's the 5th three-point jumper for Brendan O'Brien. He's got 19 points. And Manhattan has a 54-49 lead. Travis Lyons sets it all up.
Everybody converging down low on Lyons just leaves Brendan O'Brien, and that's where you got to pay attention. Look at the little celebration dance by O'Brien.
Great points, fellas. Points. Get a stop here. Let's go.
John Leonard talking about playing with poise and getting the stop right here just to maintain that momentum.
O'Brien, Anderson, Mellish, Lyons, and McDowell come out of that huddle for Manhattan on defense now. 8.5 to go in regulation. Burston works for the baseline. Pull up is well short. O'Brien couldn't get the rebound. Burston had possession for a moment and was able to call the timeout. 22nd timeout now for Ryder as the Bronx maintain possession, trailing by 5. Well, on your next trip to the Capital District for business, pleasure, or the MAAC tournament, why not stay at the full-service Omni Hotel, the Omni just a block from the Pepsi Arena here in downtown Albany. For reservations, call area code 518-462-6611. Don Harnum, longtime assistant, as we mentioned, at Ryder. Also a couple of years at Trenton State. Long ties in the state of New Jersey. This Ryder team may be well headed to the NIT, if not the NCAA tournament this year. Great start to their relationship with the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference. Trailing here by 5. Finnefrock. McPeak, and Finnefrock gets it. And Anderson, kind of a diving tackle, trying to steal the ball away from Finnefrock, gets the foul.
And Ryder has gone cold from the outside, and this is where you want to go to your strengths. Lacey's still on the bench for Ryder, which takes away some offensive punch. Let's say you go down low to try to get McPeak some looks. Good defense by Lyons. Look at that low post defense by Lyons. He's got him. He's got him pinned.
Pass was low, though, right through the legs of McPeak.
That shows how it's so important to throw the good pass inside. McPeak had Lyons totally out of position to defend him if he was able to catch it. It was 2.
O'Brien now with McClark all over him. Looks like Ryder's picked up the defense a little bit. They'll need to, trailing by 5. 7.5 minutes to go. Anderson from 19.
Not a good shot by Anderson.
7:26 to go. We have a timeout on the floor. 5-point Manhattan lead. We'll be back with more MAAC basketball after this. Pepsi Arena, and Teresa Weatherspoon will be making her appearance tomorrow, and she is in the Pepsi Arena right now, and we'll be talking with Teresa coming up in just a little while. She is the headliner for the MAAC Way program, Women Assisting Youth, trying to heighten the awareness in women's athletics here in the Capital Region and to establish a strong fan base for women's basketball for years to come in Albany and the surrounding area. Don Harnum guided his Rider Bronx to an 18-8 record so far this season, but they trail 54-49. Jaspers continue to shoot well. And a quick timeout. Good defense by Rider. Again, they switched it up. And a 20-second timeout called by John Lennon.
John Lennon's talking to his team saying, show some patience. No need to rush. Had a little discussion with Alvin Anderson on the previous 20-foot jump shot with plenty of time left on the shot clock. The goal right now is to try to get the ball into the Lions on the blocks, which usually creates something positive and proactive for Manhattan. O'Brien had struggled a little bit with McClark on him defensively, and now Lacey is back in the game for Rider. And he's been desperately missed just from an offensive punch standpoint.
Alvin Anderson guarded by Finnefrock. Good defense still by Rider. Shot clock down to 10. 7 minutes left on the game clock.
Gotta shoot it. Gotta get it up.
O'Brien with 2 to shoot from the foul line.
Oh, that's just a big rebound. Finnefrock tried to box out. Alvin Anderson just got to the ball quicker. So much of rebounding. The guards could contribute, and sometimes they don't because you don't want to pick up those long rebounds. But I can't tell you how many times I've seen games won and lost by guards picking up those long rebounds out by the foul line.
Baseline jumper off the mark. Tuomu, who's been very active the last couple of minutes, pulls down the defensive rebound. Manhattan 54, Rider 49. 6:20 to go and a foul underneath. O'Brien got wrapped up with Lacey, and Brendan gets the foul. Brendan O'Brien leads all scorers so far with 19 points. That's his second personal. And the 6th against Manhattan. Neither team over the limit here in the second half.
And Donnie Harnum knows that his club is in a little bit of a funk offensively. And as you can see, Manhattan has outscored Rider 27-15. This drought from Rider primarily is because no one's shooting outside shots. Trying to force it in. Guys like Tata Tuomo and Gerson are going to have to start making them from 3. And that should open up the inside for McPeak, who's been easy to play in the second half. That's one way to try.
Tuomo gets the foul.
You look inside, Stevie McDowell banging out with Tata Tuomo. Lyons comes from up the top, and Lacey picks up the foul over the top, but good job by McDowell banging out Tata from the opportunity to get the defensive rebound.
Lyons. Foul beforehand. Had Lyons turned to his right as opposed to by chance turning to his left, he would have had the easy layup. Instead, he'll go to the line to shoot 2.
That's a good call, Doug. But do you see how Lyons feels the defense? He's one of these guys that he understands where the defense is, and he can play with contact. He feels the contact, goes up the second time after he was bumped the first time to draw the foul.
There's Richard Enser, the commissioner of the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference, in charge of just about every aspect of this conference. He has been a big part of the MAAC growing in all sorts of different ways.
Really
keep
has.
adding sports. Got hockey coming up, lacrosse, along with the big-time glamour sport of basketball, which we've got the big tournament here at the Pepsi Arena.
And he's done a great job also promoting this tournament here in Albany. Expecting 10,000 people here for the Siena game. The town is really buzzing. You got the banners out on the streets, in the airports.
Well, the marketing slogan this year with Paul Hewitt coming in for Siena has been "Be there when it happens again." Well, it's happened again. Siena's enthusiasm in the community is back. Tuomu, air ball.
Rider still in that lull, Doug. They haven't scored in over 5 minutes.
7-point Manhattan lead. Jaspers hold the basketball with just over 5 to play. Manhattan just keeps pouring it on. Ryder can't buy a basket. Finnefrock with only 8 seconds on the shot clock gets the reach in.
Manhattan has done a nice job in the last 3-4 minutes of playing composed basketball. Riders tightened up the defense quite a bit, but they still haven't turned it over, and they haven't rushed. Ryder has extended their defense out to put a little bit more pressure on the guards.
Anderson to shoot a 1-and-1. Those of you who have tuned in to see Siena against Canisius, we've got that one coming up after the conclusion of this Manhattan Rider game. Things running a little behind here tonight at the Pepsi Arena. Had an overtime game earlier that Loyola won over Niagara. And the Saints and Golden Griffins will be coming up to wrap up our day of quarterfinal action here at the Pepsi. Jaspers by 7 with the basketball. Well, it's not time to push the panic button yet, certainly, but it's getting to that point where the Ryder needs to do something.
Yeah, Ryder really gone cold in executing a half-court offense, and I think whenever you go cold in executing a half-court offense, as McDowell continues to pour it on, look at the bench of Manhattan just explode. You got to do something with your defense. Donnie Harnum calling a timeout right now. He has to create some opportunities with his defense, possibly get some full-court pressure on the board. And that should get some turnovers, get some easy baskets.
Timeout called by Ryder with 4:10 to go in regulation. It's a 10-point lead. We'll be back with more MAAC basketball after this. This game is brought to you in part by Marine Midland Bank, banking for the real world. By Pepsi Cola, Pepsi, Generation Next. By GMAC and the GM College Grad Program. By Citizens Communications, the official telecommunications company of the MAAC. The New York Lottery, they're the hottest tickets in town. Chase Manhattan Bank, the right relationship is everything. And by Mazda. Well, if you're associated at all with Manhattan College athletics, chances are you know that guy, fan number A1, Ronnie Weintraub, at almost every Manhattan College event. And Ronnie right behind the Manhattan bench, as he generally is, rooting on his Jaspers.
He was voted the #1 fan of the MAAC last year. A little biased towards Manhattan.
Well, certainly well-deserved.
Talk about going ice cold. Second half, Ryder shooting 29%.
It's been over 6 minutes now since Ryder scored.
See, if I'm Donnie Harnum, I call a timeout, take the lid off of the basket, take out the screwdriver, change the basket.
Did you ever have that drill in school on the team where they literally would put the plastic bubble over the rim? It was a rebounding tip drill.
No.
Ever have that?
No.
Felt like some games they never took it off for me.
Well, so you want to do something. And I talked about changing your defense, trying to create some easy baskets, get into the transition game a little bit off your defense. And Ryder just going stone cold. And then you see Ronnie. Ronnie's pretty happy right now.
Well, we talked to him before the game at length, and we asked him if there's ever been a Manhattan game going into it that he didn't think the Jaspers were going to win.
No.
He thought about it for a moment, and clearly the answer was no. Well, so far, he's turned out to be a prophet. His Jaspers lead 59-49 over Don Harlem's Bronx. And it's over 7 minutes now since that team has scored.
And right now, Donnie Harlem's saying we need to look inside first as the first option. Get the ball inside. Get the good spacing. Look inside to McPeak and Lacey, which we saw in the first half how easy it was for Ryder to score inside. They've really gone away from that.
Yeah, Lacey has 12 points now. 8 of them came just like that, lickety-split.
Right.
But fouled out now with those 12. And his high post game kind of takes away from McPeak's low post game.
Right. Now, McClough is a good player as well, but I still think you need to try to go inside, get the ball into McPeak's hands, let him power it up to the basket.
I should say losing his high post game hurts McPeak on the low post.
Right.
Anderson makes the front end. Leading scorer for Manhattan, Brendan O'Brien with 19 points. Travis Lyons has 15. Alvin Anderson, the man at the foul line, is next with 8. All MAAC rookie. Really played well over the last 2 or 3 weeks of the season, as he has all year, but stats really went up.
Yeah, Alvin Anderson has been a defensive mainstay for the Manhattan Jaspers. Leads the team in steals, always takes the prolific scorer, a guard spot on the opposing team, even though he's a point guard.
McPeak, the quick turnaround, and the drought continues. McDowell, the rebound for Manhattan. 61-49. And Ryder trying to figure out what hit him.
Well, this is a good job by Donnie Harlem with some full court pressure, trying to get some steals. Here's some traps.
Reach-in foul on Perry. And with 3:12 to go, pretty much Ryder's got to play this game now. Stop the clock.
And right now, Manhattan needs to take care of the basketball, play hot potato with the basketball a little bit. Don't allow Ryder to trap you in those trapping areas which are on the side of the court by the hash marks.
And Manhattan's now in the double bonus, which means the Jaspers will be shooting 2 free throws every time to the line. John Leonard, his team on top by 13, but the way he's pacing, you'd think he was down 13.
Oh, John's great. John really has done a terrific job with this team. You're looking at a team that has 2 freshman backcourt players, 2 rookies. You got the upperclassmen in O'Brien and Lyons, but this is a very young team. Got a good recruiting class coming in next year.
Bursting pulls up. Brendan O'Brien the rebound. The Jaspers continue to dominate. Under 3 minutes to go.
Bronx have not scored in over 8 minutes. You talk about the Titanic being a disaster.
And the Manhattan fans are giving their Jaspers a nice ovation and a kick ball on defense, which means reset the 35-second shot clock, and the Jaspers have the opportunity to burn some more clock.
There's some happy Jasper fans, as not only haven't scored in over 8 minutes, they've missed 11 straight shots. Credit to Manhattan defense.
O'Brien never got the handle from Lyons, but Travis gets it back. Good steal by Burston. Finifron breaks the drought of over 8 minutes, and the Bronx are back within 11. Here's Anderson. Fouled by Derek Perry.
Hey, Doug, there's still plenty of time, only up 11 points, 2 minutes and 15 seconds left. Ryder cranks up the defense. There's a lifetime left in this game, and Derek Perry just trails the play. Let's see if he fouls him with the body. He does. On the way up. Good block from the top, but foul was low. Donnie Harlem has a lot to be proud of. The way his Ryder team has entered into the MAAC this year with such a strong effort, had some big wins.
Anderson now with 10. Alvin from Boston, 6'2", 185-pound freshman. Finifron gets the rebound. the rebound. Jaspers with it again. Going to try and play catch. Ryder has to commit the foul again in the backcourt. Derek Perry reaches in under 2 minutes to go.
Number 24, Derek Perry, picks up personal foul number 4.
There you see Tata Tuomu. And unless they come back, this is the end of his MAAC career. Certainly not necessarily the end of his career at Ryder, because the Bronx are in great shape for consideration for the NIT. Yelich hits.
With 1 minute 57 seconds.
Minute 57 left to go in regulation. Timeout called, so we'll take a break. From the Pepsi Arena, it's a 13-point Jaspers lead. We'll be back with more MAAC basketball after this. Under 2 minutes left on the clock. Manhattan trying to make it into the semifinals. The Jaspers had to play in just to get to the quarterfinals, and they were able to handle St. Peter's last night, or actually yesterday morning, and then tonight trying to hold off the Bronx. Great second half run by the Jaspers, who've had the hot hand, while the Bronx have been just the opposite, ice cold.
You got to credit the many different looks that John Leonard has run at Ryder, but primarily it's been straight man that has caused some problems. Straight man with some different looks. Some plays some soft defense, and some plays some tougher defense outside of the three-point line. It really caused some problems for Ryder.
Anderson gets to McDowell. Now the foul by Perry will send Anderson to the line for two.
Against Ryder's number 24, Derek Perry.
Well, Manhattan came in with a 7-11 league record, the 7th seed. At least they were tied for 7th coming in. Yes, they were seeded 7th. And they are very close to making it to the Final Four as Perry goes out. And that tells it all at this point. On the other side, Brendan O'Brien, the man in the middle of your screen, our Pepsi player of the game. Consistent with the outside shot all game long. You see 5 for 7 on the three-pointers, and Brendan with his 19 points, our Pepsi player of the game. This after scoring 21 yesterday, so he seems like he's well on his way to the All-MAAC postseason tournament team.
Well, they say you can never go home, and these two guys have done a fine job here in their hometown. John Leonard and Brendan O'Brien, two upstate New York guys.
Leonard, a former star at Niskayuna High School. He still looks like he's down by 20.
He's just exhausted right now. He is exhausted. He's been very, very positive with his players and upbeat.
Anderson misses. And
looks like he played. Looks like he ran a marathon. He's talking to Alvin Anderson. Look at John. He's totally spent.
Well, he's going to have to revive himself. Got another game tomorrow night. Providing his Jaspers do hold on, which it appears they will. And they'll face the winner of the upcoming game between Siena and Canisius at 8 o'clock. Now the foul. Michael Crawford with the push. Minute 24 to go. 13-point spread.
Lars Miller's at the line for 2 shots.
some of the numbers John Leonard put up. Whenever we go to Draddy Gymnasium, you see his name up on the banner as one of the most prolific scorers in Draddy Gymnasium history.
All those points got him drafted by the New York Knicks.
Yeah, 10th round pick, last Manhattan grad to be drafted by an NBA team. Ryder down 12, and the reach in by Crawford, who just hit the 3. Kalen Smith not enjoying things. He's a freshman, still plenty ahead. So is Michael Crawford. Don Harnum's got a terrific future ahead with his team. The only seniors, Derek Perry, Dimitri Charles, Tata Tuomu, those who get any kind of playing time.
He's got a bunch of good-looking freshmen coming in. Mario Porter out of New Jersey, a 6'5" combo guard. David Hutchinson out of New Jersey as well. Winston Gray at a Norwalk High School, 6'8" kid, same high school that Calvin Murphy Sr. went to.
Interesting. Although I don't think this is the end of Ryder's season. Very good chance they'll go to the National Invitation Tournament.
I think they deserved it, coupled with the strength of the conference.
McClark tackles Mars Mellish, who will go back to the line.
Get 18 wins. I believe they should get in.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, by losing this first game, it's going to be more white knuckle time, I'm sure, as opposed to having won a game here at the tournament.
Sure.
Ryder would have certainly better assured itself a spot, but like you say, I think they deserve it. As a second-place team in a conference of this stature, generally, they'd go to the NIT. Mellish hits. Well, this game began with Manhattan leading 8-0. Ryder made a run back, controlled, led at halftime, and the Jaspers in the second half came all the way back. And finally, on this shot, our New York Lottery play of the game, they took the lead. Alvin Anderson from the corner. That was today's New York Lottery play of the game. And at the end of the season, New York Lottery will present a $1,000 scholarship to the senior men's or women's MAAC basketball player with the highest GPA for use in his or her graduate studies. And that's what got the Jaspers finally over the hump. And when they got over that hump, they just kept running, never looked back.
Well, they had some nice outside shooting performances from guys like Alvin Anderson, Stevie McDowell. Look at John Leonard still coaching. 50 seconds left, like he's down 20.
Got to save some of that energy for tomorrow night's game.
But guys like Brendan O'Brien, McDowell, Anderson, Mellish, nice job from the outside. This team shot about 50% from 3 this game.
See the time remaining in regulation. First and backdoor Finnefrock. Finnefrock's up to double figures. Lions fouled by McPeak. I think these are the Siena fans booing. They want the game to get over with so the Saints can come out.
They want some of their hometown action.
Third on McPeak. And Travis Lyons goes back to the foul line. Lyons, well, as always, hits his average. He's got 15 points, came in averaging 15.9. And he'll get 2 more free throws here. One of the stats that we haven't thrown out about Travis, he's 9th in the country in field goal percentage at 62%.
Led the conference in field goal percentage.
Hard to believe, again, that a guy only 6'4", 6'5", can have that kind of efficiency on the low post.
Just a great feel for the game. He's one of those guys in the schoolyard that just kills you. Because you don't know who to put on him. Do I put a big guy on him? Do I put a guard on him? You put a guard on him, he posts you up. Put a big guy on him, he takes you out by the wing and goes by you off the bounce.
71-57, Jaspers about to win their second straight tournament game. Crawford, the leaner, drew the foul, and Crawford will go to the line, and the Bluebirds come back out.
John Leonard just can't believe it. He is on the floor. He can't get up. No need for a foul, and he knows it. There he is. He's getting up. He was sitting.
Running dialogue with Jeff Bernstein, the sports information director at Manhattan.
John's great. John just does a terrific job. You talk about a team that likes to play for their coach. They really enjoy working with John. He's got these guys playing well.
Shot clock is off. Let's see if Ryder elects not to foul. And that appears to be the case. And not only the Manhattan fans, but the Siena fans rooting this decision as Manhattan will put away a quarterfinal victory and head into the semifinals. Manhattan, the 7th place team coming in, has pulled the upset. The number 2 team is gone. Ryder loses, and Manhattan advances 71-58. The final score for John Leonard's Jaspers. Manhattan rallied from a 7-point halftime deficit. And Ronnie Weintraub, fan number 1 for the Jaspers, is thrilled. He will stay here in the Capital District for another day and root out his Jaspers tomorrow night at 8 o'clock against the winner of the upcoming game between Siena and Canisius. You'll want to stay tuned for that one, as there should be a crowd of nearly 10,000, most everybody already here in place. And again, the Capital District contingent doing the job. Brendan O'Brien from Troy extends his career by becoming our Pepsi player of the game with 19 points. And John Leonard, now 3-1 here at the Pepsi Arena from nearby Niskayuna. He guides his team to the come-from-behind victory, 71-58. We'll talk with Coach Leonard and with Coach O'Brien, or rather Brendan O'Brien, momentarily, as they are coming over to our location. Also, coming up, again, an interview with Teresa Weatherspoon, New York Liberty star, as part of the MAAC Way program. That'll be coming up in just a few minutes, so stay tuned. And then we'll also set up the Canisius-Siena game, which will be coming up in just less than 25 minutes. The time is up on the clock, and so the Saints and the Griffs will be coming out on the court in just a few moments. Again, leading scorer, Brendan O'Brien, 19 points. Travis Lyons had 17. 10 for Alvin Anderson. These all unofficial. Mellish had 9. Darrell Brown, 5. Steve McDowell, 7. While for Ryder, the offense really fell apart in the second half. Lacey was the high man with 12 points. Now we are ready for our post-game interviews, and Glenn Consor standing by with the Capital District duo. Glenn.
I'm here with John Leonard and a good friend of his, Brendan O'Brien, over here. Great job, guys. John, you got to be happy defensively with the way your team played.
I thought we really, buckled down, especially in the second half defensively. We were concerned at halftime that we made a lot of mental mistakes, and I thought the second half we eliminated those mental mistakes, really shut them down defensively, and we made plays too.
Now, you told me before the game you were going to show them a lot of different looks defensively. To me, watching this game, you just did a straight man-to-man most of the game. You played a little zone, but it looked to me like the straight man defense really was successful for you.
Yeah, we try to throw some gimmicks at them, and they're well coached, well prepared, and they're a great team. And we played a lot of defenses the first half. Second half, we went really our basic man-to-man and really went well.
Now, obviously, it seems like both you and Brendan like to come home here to upstate New York. This guy over here to my right really did a terrific job. John, you did a terrific job coaching as well. Brendan, talk to me about coming home, playing for the home crowd. The first game against St. Peter's, you had 21 points. Another great performance here tonight.
I just really get pumped up when I come home. Yeah, I have a lot of family here, and added to that is, if you lose now, you go home, and none of us seniors are ready to end our college careers yet.
You got to give a lot of credit to Travis Lyons. It just seems like when everybody converges on him, you're left wide open. How shot ready are you? You have to be ready to shoot the ball.
I tell him all the time, when he catches the ball, that's pretty much my shot, because they all fly down on him. And Travis he's a great passer. He sees everything, and he's strong enough to get us the ball when he is double teamed.
Well, great job, congratulations, and the way to come through for your team. Great job.
Thank you.
All righty, let's go back to Doug Sherman.
All right, thank you, Glenn. With our Pepsi player of the game, Brendan O'Brien, after a 19-point performance, leads Manhattan into the semifinals. We'll come back on the MAAC Television Network. We're back in Albany, where Manhattan has beaten Ryder 71-58. The Jaspers advance into the semifinals. And right now we have a special guest joining Howard Simon, as we told you, the feature of the MAAC Wave program, Teresa Weatherspoon of the New York Liberty. Howard?
Yeah, I think she knows a little bit about basketball, and she will be here tomorrow morning as well as part of the Way Clinic with the MAAC Women Assisting Youth. And Teresa, just talk a little bit about what you're going to do in this in the Way program tomorrow morning beginning at 10:30.
Well, actually, as you know, what the Way program really is Women Assisting Youth. And what my thing is about being here is really to give back. This is something that I really love doing, is coming back and really letting the kids know what is possible for them and what they have to do to get there.
How important is that for you? I mean, just standing here, you're getting a crowd already. From an athlete's perspective, to be able to give back and talk to the kids who will obviously look up to you.
It's beautiful because a lot of athletes, whether they want to or not, they're role models. And if you can do something positive in a kid's life, you've done something that's very successful.
Men's tournament's going on right now, but of course the women's tournament is here as well. With the way women's college basketball has taken off and now pro opportunities are there, what do you tell the kids when they're playing basketball now? Because it seems like they have better opportunities now growing up.
Exactly. You know, whatever you dream, you can never give up on it, because for many, many years this is something that a lot of us veterans have waited on, but we never gave up, and we stuck with it and worked as hard as we can. Now that we have the WNBA, we're looking forward to keeping it a success, to let the kids know that they have something else to look forward to.
It must be very gratifying for you to see the way the women's game has taken off the last few years, both collegiately and pro.
Right. It's we as women, we have always known that we could play the game of basketball. And if you look at the college level is still a huge game, and it's a beautiful game. And we're just trying to take it to another level by having a professional league.
Teresa, thank you, and we look forward to your work tomorrow at the Way Clinic.
Thank you very much.
Teresa Weatherspoon joining us from the WNBA's New York Liberty, and we've got more basketball still to come. Right now, we're going to send it back to Doug Sherman.
All right, thank you, Howard. And again, if you'd like information about the MAAC Wave program, which really comes to fruition tomorrow, call the ticket office here at the Pepsi Arena at 518-487-2100. There will be a clinic from 10:30 to 11, then a women's brunch at 11 a.m., 12 o'clock tip-off in the championship game, and then at halftime, she will have an autograph session. But we appreciate one of the real stars of women's basketball coming on with us.
She's got some game with her. Absolutely. Great scorer.
Along with Glenn Conser, this is Doug Sherman. Glad you could join us again. And we take a look at the final statistics from our previous men's basketball game, brought to us by Citizens Communications.
Now, Ryder did not shoot bad in the first half, and as you could see, for the game, they just went ice cold in the second half, and that's all. You got to credit Manhattan's defense, showing them a lot of different looks, great man-to-man pressure out top. Denied Ryder the basketball to their strength, which is the low post position, and rebounding-wise, Manhattan just did a terrific job. They're a smaller basketball team, still out-rebounded Ryder. So from every statistical category, with the exception of bench scoring, I think Manhattan really dominated.
Well, throughout a good chunk of that first half, it looked like the Jaspers would be dead in the water, but instead they're on to the semifinals. They are one of the 3 teams already into the Final Four, and Manhattan will take on tomorrow night at 8 o'clock the winner of the upcoming game between Siena and Canisius. That game is about 17 minutes away from right now. We'll take a break at the Pepsi Arena. We have much more coming up with the Griffs and the Saints. You're watching the MAAC Television Network.
The Internet. Billions of miles of cable connecting employers with some of the best and brightest minds in the country. The students and alumni of the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference Career Centers. To advertise your full-time, part-time, or internship opportunity, contact your Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference Career Center or call JobTrack. 800-999-TRACK.
Welcome back to Albany, everybody, as we wind down towards our 4th and final quarterfinal game of the day. Canisius, the Golden Griffins, with a record of 13-13, will take on the Saints of Siena with a record of 15-11. That is about 15 minutes away. Now, throughout the season, members of the Canisius men's basketball team have been frequent visitors to Buffalo's Ronald McDonald House. The players help around the house by cooking and cleaning and spending time with the residents. And at this time, thanks to the Empire Sports Network, we take a look inside their visits to the Ronald McDonald House.
We spent the afternoon with the Canisius College basketball team at Ronald McDonald House on West Ferry in Buffalo. And Buffalo's First Lady, Kate Masiello, talks about how the Canisius basketball squad has gotten themselves involved in the community.
it's wonderful that they are able to get out into the community, see what Buffalo is all about, and really live the lesson that we all seem to learn as we get older. And I think that service is the way you serve yourself is to serve others.
Now, what are we working on right here? Hamburger helper? What's the story?
We're making a little baked ziti. So we're frying up the hamburger. Right here, we're going to boil the water, boil the noodles. Then over there, Noodles himself is mixing up the little cheese mixture over there to add to it, and we'll have her going in the oven. I'm thinking about 15 minutes, I think.
You got the nickname Noodles.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And just because reflection, perhaps, of your shape.
Coach James gave me that nickname, Noodles, early in the season when he came here.
And now specializing in cheese. And if you could tell us, I'm not exactly Julia Child here, but if you could tell us, maybe tilt this a little bit. We have that mirror up in the ceiling. What exactly are you trying to accomplish?
Well, I'm just trying to make sure I get all the mozzarella and the ricotta cheese mixed together real evenly. We also have 2 eggs in here. Trying to mix it all evenly so this meal comes out real good.
Now, are you watching Noodles so in the future you can do his job?
I'm in charge of keeping everything clean. Yeah, I got the dishes. I started the water. Now Kevin finishing the water.
Let's try and understand your role.
I was in charge of moving the furniture. I finished because I'm pretty quick, so I got my job done quick.
Was it just the good first step in moving the furniture that's important?
Definitely.
Very explosive. And then, but breaking nothing on top of all that,
Nothing.
Right?
No walls were hit, nothing.
All right, that's the story in the kitchen here at Ronald McDonald House. Let's move on through. Now, are you better than he is at doing the salt?
Oh, definitely. I think I'm more smooth. I think so.
What is more enjoyable about, actually, let's get serious about your guys' time over here. You find this pretty rewarding experience?
Yeah, it is. It's good to see people and work with people who are needy and help out here, do whatever we can.
We want to try and get our guys out in the community and help other people, and also, in turn, it shows them how lucky and how fortunate they really are.
When you come from the hospital tired and maybe not in the best mood, and then you see a hot and tasty food here, it's helpful, you know? Yeah, so these guys are pretty well. They're doing a nice job. So, very tasty, delicious.
Noodles is stepping up. Let's get a look here.
One noodle. That's some good stuff. For real, I'm not gonna lie, that's good.
It's your recipe. Let's see how it was. Let's see if you're happy with this execution. Here we go. We're going to get the reaction live on tape here tonight.
Delicious. Great.
It passes the test. Baked ziti Canisius.
Good job.
Way to go, guys.
And thank you to the Empire Sports Network for that. Clearly a fine bunch of young men at Canisius College. Well, those Golden Griffins will be taking on the Siena Saints in just a few minutes here at the Pepsi Arena in the 4th and final quarterfinal on the MAAC Television Network.
Welcome back to the Pepsi Arena in Albany. The 1998 MAAC tournament continues. The final men's quarterfinal game of the day coming up in a moment as Canisius takes on Siena. We'll join Doug and Glenn for that, but we'll talk a little bit about the New York Lottery. We're joined here courtside by Jeff Purley, the director of the New York Lottery, and I wanted to ask you a little bit about the mission of the lottery. I think everybody in the state is familiar with the lottery itself. In fact, we just saw one of your commercials, but maybe not everyone's familiar with the mission of the New York Lottery.
Well, that's right. I think, as you said, everyone knows the lottery. Everyone wants to win the lottery. I think too few people concentrate on what the lottery is here to do, and that's to support education. Since the lottery was founded in 1967, over $10 billion has been raised and distributed to school districts all across New York State.
Before we talk more about that, I want to ask you about a couple of programs you're very involved in. One of them fairly new called New York Wired, and there's actually a game show with that too, if you could talk about it.
New York Wired is basically Governor Pataki's initiative to wire schools all across the state for internet access. Obviously, the internet is to the future what textbooks were when you and I went to school. It's imperative that we provide today's kids and tomorrow's kids with these skills and these tools. The lottery's gotten behind the program. We've sponsored wiring all across the state. The game show is called New York Wired. It enables schools to win. We just gave away a big check out in Buffalo to a school. It's been a really, really worthwhile program.
The lottery also very involved with the Empire State Games and most recently the Winter Games in Lake Placid.
That's right. Last weekend we had over 1,200 athletes in Lake Placid, thousands of spectators. spectators. Empire State Games is a really unique New York State activity. We're the only state in the country that has a Winter Games because we're the only state in the country that has Lake Placid. It really makes me proud to be a New Yorker to participate in something like that, and it's a great program for the lottery to be involved with.
Getting back to your tie-in with education, just talk a little bit about how New York Lottery got involved with the MAAC and where in the many things the lottery does, the sponsorship with the MAAC and college sports ties in.
Well, I was just speaking with the commissioner. Of course, the MAAC considers itself an East Coast conference. I'm a New Yorker. I like to think of it as a New York conference between Canisius and Niagara, Siena, Iona. It's a real homegrown New York athletic conference, so we're happy to be a part of it.
And he's happy because he's a Duke alum, and they beat North Carolina today. Jeff Burley joining us, director of the New York Lottery. Jeff, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Still to come, Canisius and Siena. Doug and Glenn will set you up for that when we return to the Pepsi Arena on the MAAC Television Network.